and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them.
Yeah, this is Uncle Ron. And a whole bunch of things are getting ready to take place very soon. Y'all didn't believe me then, but you believe me now. Not only that, but they're not the only one that's getting ready to take a fall. There's going to be a couple of other big names stirring up in this pot.
The old school footage, I still have it. See, hardly nobody knows, but I'll say it, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way. Y'all wish it what you wish it to stay on top. I was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls.
On September 13th, 2024, Uncle Ron shook TikTok to its core with a video that exposed some of the darkest, dirtiest secrets in the industry. He was calling out some huge names. No sugarcoating, no holding back. But then, out of nowhere, just 24 hours later, the man was found dead. Now everybody online is raising eyebrows. This didn't feel like some random tragic accident. People are saying Uncle Ron knew too much, spoke way too loud, and ended up paying the ultimate price. And now, with Diddy's trial officially kicking off, the tea is boiling over. We're finally getting more pieces of the puzzle about what really went down. Let's get something straight. Uncle Ron wasn't some random internet clout chaser. He used to be Beyonce's personal bodyguard, and yep, he worked with Diddy too.
And Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Okay, I get the threats, but you have to remember one thing. I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people. Beyonce, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career because she said something about you. That's how hateful you guys are, how you step on anybody. See, what's done in the dark will definitely come in the light. Keep your threats up. I'm here today, and what I got to say, I'm gonna say it. So don't make idle threats to me. I say I ain't Biggie. Say I ain't Beanie Siegels. I ain't Freeway. How you wrote all them off the minute they did for you to get you to the top. All them writing for you, and then the minute you get a little taste of success, you wrote them off. You just totally said, I don't know him. Say you don't know me. I dare you. I dare you. Remember, all the receipts, all the proof, the old school footage, I still have it.
But here's where it gets straight up crazy. He was one of the loudest voices calling out Diddy, Jay-Z, and even Beyonce, exposing what he called their dark pot. He wasn't whispering, he was shouting. Now, listen to this. Exactly 24 hours after he dropped his final bombshell video, Uncle Ron ended up dead. And it's giving serious deja vu, because this has happened before with people close to Diddy. So, what exactly did Uncle Ron expose? And why are so many convinced there's something real shady happening behind the scenes? We're gonna break it all down, starting with that very last video that flipped everything upside down. And get this, just a day later, Uncle Ron's wife jumped on that same TikTok account and dropped a chilling announcement. He was gone. But let's be honest, most people out here are not buying that story. Something ain't adding up. This wasn't just some random death. Uncle Ron had been lighting up TikTok for weeks, going viral left and right, calling out the biggest heavyweights in the music game. Diddy, Jay-Z, Beyonce.
Jay-Z and Puffy wanted Biggie. Bottom line. You don't have to believe me, believe the facts. Here's a man that wanted to leave Bad Boy. He wanted to do his own thing. He mentioned several times how he was tired of being used and abused, that he was bigger than Bad Boy itself. Somebody, and we ain't gonna call no more names, dangled a bogus contract in front of his face so he wouldn't leave the company. How I know I was there.
He was dropping serious accusations about careers getting sabotaged, secret receipts getting buried, and even pulling out old school footage he said was straight up proof. But here's where it gets shady. Uncle Ron died on September 13th, 2024, yet somehow nobody even heard about it until over a month later, on October 23rd. That delay had everybody side-eyeing the situation real hard. But wait, it gets wilder. Before he passed, Uncle Ron's TikTok was booming. He was out here dropping video after video, pulling in millions of views, replying to fans, answering questions. Man was active. Then suddenly, after his death, every single comment on his page got wiped clean, gone, vanished, like someone hit the delete button and scrubbed his whole page. Now you tell me, does that sound normal? Or does it sound like someone was trying real hard to shut him up and erase the evidence?
Another thing, Jay-Z wanted him out of the industry, period, so he could take over and be the biggest hip-hop artist around.
Uncle Ron wasn't out here throwing vague shade either. He went straight for the jugular. He called out Jay-Z and Diddy directly, saying they wanted Biggie dead. Yeah, you read that right. According to Uncle Ron, this wasn't just some East Coast versus West Coast rap beef. No, he claimed there was something way darker cooking behind the scenes. He said these two powerhouses had their own reasons, real personal reasons, for wanting Biggie out of the picture. How do I know? I was there. That's what Uncle Ron said when he dropped his jaw-dropping claims. According to him, Jay-Z allegedly wanted Biggie dead so he could slide right into that top spot and run the rap game.
You would get 100 people in the room, and out of the 100 people, probably 3 would say it was all right for Big to be in LA. 97% of those people would say he had no business in LA at that time. We all knew that. Why would Puff rent studio time? Come on, man, look. You gotta look at what people do, man. You know Pac just got. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk, he couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother. Why the hell would you rent studio time in LA for him to finish your album when if you got your own studio, Daddy's out? Let's keep it a buck. Let's stop this bull, man. Let's stop doing these man, about this, because people ain't getting it. He did not want the beef with the Crips. Puff ain't want the beef with the Dog Pound, Snoop them or whatever. Beef started that beef. You understand what I'm saying? Puff ain't want none of that beef. So what I'm gonna do is, y'all want the sheep? I'm gonna put him out the pasture.
Uncle Ron said it plain. Jay knew as long as Biggie was breathing, he'd always be playing second fiddle, and that wasn't good enough for him. But it didn't stop with Jay-Z. Uncle Ron came for Diddy with some heavy accusations. He claimed Diddy allegedly set Biggie up because Biggie was ready to leave Bad Boy Records and take his publishing rights with him.
I was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls. March 1st of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists. Finding out that he wanted all the rights to all his catalogs. I turned him down because I also found out that very night that Biggie had plans of leaving Bad Boy. Biggie should have never been in California to promote an album. With a broken fibula bone, who can barely walk, to go to another studio when Diddy has his own studio in New York.
That's money moves right there, and it seems like Diddy wasn't having it. But here's the thing. Uncle Ron wasn't the only one saying this. Gene Deal, who was literally sitting in the same car as Diddy the night Biggie got executed, believes the same thing. Gene been saying for years that Puff knew exactly what was about to go down that night. Now buckle up, because here's the real kicker. Uncle Ron also said Diddy allegedly offered him $30,000 to take out Biggie Smalls. Yeah, you heard it right. 30 grand to handle that dirty job. Ron said this happened on March 1st, 1997, just days before Biggie was gunned down in LA. Why? Because Diddy supposedly wanted full control of Biggie's publishing before Big could walk away and snatch his money out the door. And here's a fact that'll make you think. Diddy actually owned all of Biggie's publishing rights all the way up until 2023.
So, under investigations and working and cooperating with FBI, my story is being told. There's so much more that we're going to talk about with Diddy.
So even after Biggie was gone, Diddy kept raking in millions off his legacy. The checks didn't stop coming, but this is where it starts getting real sketchy. Word on the street is Uncle Ron wasn't just running his mouth on TikTok for clout. Nah, he was allegedly talking to the feds too. And with how dangerous folks say Puffy's reputation is in certain circles, that might have been the riskiest move he ever made.
Of course, so many people have asked me why I waited 20 years or so long to come out and start talking and telling about the things that have happened in the industry. The most important reason why is I had children, and I still have children, but at that point in time they were young, and my number one priority was protecting my children. I care less about the stuff that went on in the industry at that point in time. For as money, it was never about money, and it's still not about money.
Plenty of people believe Uncle Ron was getting way too close to something he wasn't supposed to know. And when you start bringing in the feds and name-dropping heavyweights like Diddy, you're not just beefing anymore, that's a whole different game, a deadly one. And let's not act surprised, because Diddy's name has been dragged through some serious drama before. Remember Cassie's lawsuit? The man was accused of some wild stuff. Even worse, there's that story where Diddy allegedly tried to get at Kid Cudi, blowing up his car as a warning to leave Cassie alone. So when Uncle Ron drops a video blowing the lid off Diddy's secrets and then ends up dead just a day later, you can bet folks aren't brushing that off. The streets are talking and they want answers. One question that keeps popping up is, why did Uncle Ron wait so long to speak out? Why now? But according to him, it wasn't about fear. It was about family. Uncle Ron said it himself. The only reason he kept quiet for so many years was because his kids were still young, and he wanted to protect them. Uncle Ron wasn't out here trying to bring trouble to his doorstep or put his family in the crosshairs. He kept quiet for years because he didn't want to risk their safety. But now that his kids are grown, he finally felt like it was safe enough to expose what he allegedly knew. And just when he starts speaking out, boom, he's gone.
And someone in my comments, thank you, asked me, how did Uncle Ron die? I have some answers. Now, This is where it gets a little crazy. He died last month. He was only 59 years old, very young. Some people are whirling around that he died of that same pneumonia that Kim Porter had. Sounds a little bit shady. Sounds like maybe the diddler had him taken care of, because here's something real crazy. I had myself and my people reach out to his family because his TikTok page is still active, and people in the comments are asking, what happened to Uncle Ron? What happened? What is the family doing? Deleting all of the comments. If you go over to Uncle Ron's TikTok page, try this, Patriots. I did it. Say, what happened to Ron? How did he expire? They delete your question. Why? Because they want to keep their family members safe and everyone else in their life that they care about, because the diddler is not done with his nastiness. Patriots, it is not safe for me to be spilling this tea.
What's really got folks talking is the timing. Word is, Uncle Ron passed away right around the same time Diddy got arrested. That's a little too convenient, don't you think? People ain't buying the coincidence story. The hot theory going around is that Uncle Ron was allegedly taken out so he couldn't testify or drop any bombshells during Diddy's trial. It's no secret. Ron had been saying for weeks that he was sitting on some old footage, something serious. He warned people straight up in his videos. He said he was working with the authorities and even said he feared for his life. He literally told folks that if anything happened to him, they shouldn't believe no story about suicide or health problems. Then, just like that, he's gone. And here's where it gets even wilder. The official cause of death? Pneumonia at 59. But this wasn't some frail man. Uncle Ron was in solid health. People are giving that side-eye real quick, especially since Kim Porter, Diddy's ex, allegedly died from the same thing. And folks have been questioning that for years. Even Jaguar Wright has been going off about this.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they said he died from that pneumonia.
Yes.
You know, just like Kim, just like Brittany Murphy. That pneumonia ain't no joke. Hey, every time somebody get to telling the truth about someone, whoever's been lying, they just say a little prayer and then the pneumonia come, and then it's.
She's not pulling any punches. She straight up said Uncle Ron's death feels shady, and she's not the only one saying it out loud. But here's where things get real crazy. People are starting to see a pattern they can't ignore. Uncle Ron, Kim Porter, and even Brittany Murphy, all of them officially listed as dying from the same thing, pneumonia. 3 different people, same mysterious cause, same circles. You feeling me? Now look, no one's out here saying they've got solid proof that Uncle Ron was murdered. Maybe it really was natural causes. But with that timing, with those connections, people can't help but wonder if there's more going on behind the curtain. The streets are buzzing, the internet's on fire. So we gotta ask, what do you think really happened? Was it just a sad coincidence? Or is there something much darker at play here? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get this conversation going. And if you thought this was wild, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for more, and share this video with someone who needs to see it. Don't forget to hit that bell so you never miss when we drop the next bombshell. See you in the next one. Stay tuned, it only gets crazier from here.